Hi everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to share a very simple page with you using only a couple of stencils and using a monochromatic color scheme. So I'm working in this Square Dilutions journal, and first things first, I'm putting a coat of gesso down because the pages in this book is like a creamy color, and I wanted it more of a white base. In hindsight, I should have not done the gesso because I thought I would go in with my Dina Wakley gloss sprays and try and get them on that page as a base color. I did attempt to make a little bit of a watercolory look. In the end, it did not work. So, full disclaimer, here we go. You are invited to watch my disaster. So I took out the mineral gloss spray, and I'm just pouring it on the page, and then I'm going to spray my page with some water and let that spray just move around the page. And then I'm going to try and dry it, but I used too much water. I think if I had used only the spray, it probably would have worked better, but I did use the water. So it took forever and a day to try and dry that first layer, and I keep moving it around with my brush just to try and thin out the watery bit. But in the end, you'll see I just go over the top with my rag there, the orange rag, the ugly one. And I'm just drying it off with that because I just completely lost patience. I did sprinkle some sage, I think it's called sage, in there as well. And again, due to my impatience, I just rubbed it all over. So you can't really see that sage in the end in any case. So learn from my mistakes. Don't gesso your pages first if you want to use that gloss spray and let it seep into the page. It will save you plenty of hassles. I took out this text stamp from Dina. I think it's called Done, or Done is Better. And I'm just going to go in with some black gesso. And I'm doing really imperfect stenciling just here and there because I just want that text in the background. In the end, I also cover this up because the black was a bit too harsh. I think I should have maybe used like a Payne's grey, or even Dina's, what's it called, marine or night paint. I think those would have worked much better. I found this little fern stencil, and I'm just going to build up a couple of layers of leaves because I wanted these leaves to look like they're coming into the page and they're like foresty and just layered, I guess, if that makes sense. Look at my olive paint. I was really sad. This olive paint I've barely used it, so it's pretty much a full bottle, and it had gone completely dry, so it's like a gluggy, rubbery kind of state at the minute. Where we live, it's very humid and very hot, and if I don't use my paints, they do dry up, and unfortunately that happened to Olive, which makes me really sad. But you know, you live and you learn. That's like that page that I did in the beginning of the year, just saying about my intentions about using my things and not letting paint dry in the tube, and this is a prime example of that. So I've gone in with a couple of different green paints, and when I was done with that base layer, I went in with darker and lighter greens, darker at the bottom of the leaves, lighter at the top, just to create a little bit of shading. And this is where I decide that background needs knocking back. So I'm smudging on gesso with my finger. The gesso will dry a little bit more translucent, so that base layer will still come through. You'll still see it in the end. It is just knocked back a tiny bit to just control the busyness of the page. I'm really glad that I did that step, even though it felt like, you know, maybe I shouldn't do that. Now I'm going in with my quote, and I'm just using done is better than perfect. This is the first page on this journal, and I think that is a really great reminder whenever I start a journal, is to just play, just keep your hand moving. It's better to get a page done and it's imperfect, and at least you've played and used your paints and not let it dry in the tube like I have, instead of striving for perfection. So I'm going just on the left side of my letters, left and bottom, with a green paint pen, just doing a little bit of a, I guess, a shadow or a highlight, and that really brought those letters to life, giving it a dry. And then I went on a search for my Stabilo All pencil, which I could not find. So I just used a drop of black gesso and watered it down in my little paint palette there, because I wanted to do just the shadowing underneath these leaves. And I really like how this step just pushed out those leaves from the background. I think it worked out well. It would have been much easier if I had my Stabilo All pencil, but alas, it's still missing. I'm watering it down and spreading it out with my fingers, and a little bit of highlights on the leaves, and then I go in with some black splatter and also some of the green splatter that was left on my palette. And that is it. You can see I'm covering everything up before I start my splatter. All right, that's it. There was a really quick page, like 20 minutes, so, and using only stencils. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this inspires you to use what you have and not always buy all of the things, even though we would love it. I will chat to you again soon. Bye.